Hello, everybody. Ryan Carpenter here with No BS Golf, presented to you by P45 Knuckle Down Golf. Hope everybody's having a good Friday, getting ready to go into the weekend. And I guess we got I don't know. I'll tell y'all. I don't pay much attention to these playoffs with the tour and all. It's a weird format. I don't really. I mean, I understand their purpose for, but not for me. So not really into that. I'm getting ready for football season, to be honest with you. So anyhow, hope everything's doing well. Want to hear some questions, comments, anything back from y'all when you get a chance. You got something you're wondering about, you heard, you read, you saw, you whatever. Always, hit me up. Twitter, P45KDG, at P45KDG. And then email P45knuckledowngolf at gmail.com. And then, as always, you can also see some of my information over at www.thegolfpub.com, which I'll be heading to here in just a short period of time. So we got to get going. Okay, so one of the things, I guess, long story short, if there is a way to do it that route, and this goes a long ways back to, 15-ish years ago when I first set foot in a golf tech, and there was a I don't know what to call it, situation, individual, whatever you want to call it, don't matter. The point is, ran into a thing, and it happens from time to time, and it's fine. But the general census was this. Why in the world would you ever suggest, we'll use my own verbiage, by the way, but why in the world would you ever suggest that it takes a long time for a player to get better at golf? Well, I don't know, the life of an experience of all great instructors that have ever been around and done this stuff with people. Maybe there's that. Look, it's like this. You're not going to find a lot of people who can dedicate 4, 6, 8 hours a day to the game of golf. And even if you did, the human body, brain, how this all functions together, the learning, that goes on as you start to learn and begin to apply new things, and that all takes time. There's never been a highly successful golfer that literally walked out in a couple of days and got a couple of tips, and bam, they were all of a sudden, shooting miraculous scores and hitting the ball 290 on the fly and always hitting it straight. I have yet to hear a single story of that ever happening. And I've been studying this for a very, very, very long time, folks. And yet, for whatever reason, and I know where it comes from, and that's a whole nother story, but unfortunately, the vast majority of folk coming through the door, I just want to do 1, maybe 2 lessons and then see where I'm at. I'm like, you're not going to be nowhere. And that's not near enough time, first of all, spent between coach and player, because it's barely going to give you an introduction to some of the changes that are necessary to really see long-term results. And then even if we get even through a couple things, there's still stuff left to be done. And more often than not, you're probably going to be worse off, to be honest. I tell people all the time when they're like, well, I don't know if I'm really ready for this, blah, blah. So that's great. But here's the thing. Everything I just told you today in the evaluation lesson, don't do any of it. Don't even attempt it. What we worked on with your hand change today, don't do it. What we worked on with posture and setup, don't do it, because it's counterproductive to what you're already capable of. The reason we would change it is to set you up for change in the future, not change today. So these things aren't going to help you today. They're setting up for the future and to allow us to build change into the future. So I've done this thousands and thousands and thousands of times now with lots of people. And there's not a single person I've ever worked with that got better dramatically better. We're talking like, 10 handicap strokes or better within just say, a month or two. It's just not enough time. And mainly because we don't have enough time available to us via our lives and whether it's work, kids, family, whatever you got going on. So I carry around with me, and I posted it a little bit. I've had this article since way back when, and top teachers, most improved students. And I'll just do a quick run through, and then you can always reach out to me if you want to see the details of this. But here's the thing, okay? Amongst the equality here, there were variables, different levels of players, and different coaches that the players chose to work with. So probably different, to some degree, some kind of learning difference of some type, and maybe even substance. So variables existed here, for sure. Age, man, woman, young, old, you name it. So, but there were two significant things, for sure. Every player got significantly better, not a little better. Significant. We're talking major golf change. 3.0 index to a 0. First of all, 3.0 index and wanted to go work with a coach. Okay? Think about that. Think about this for a minute. Very, very good player. Anyways, this was a young player. 3.0 to a 0, 18 months. Little young lady. Okay. 36 fella. Looks like a professional dude. Yeah, managing partner law firm. Busy guy. 30 handicap to a 10. 14 months. Sandy. Ooh, 65-year-old Sandy. Okay. 30 handicap to an 11 in 13 months. What do we got here? Mr. Kirk, operation manager, something. 105 to 85, 18 months. John, 52, 5.0 index to a 1.4 in 2 years. We had 2 PGA master teaching instructors at GTU in my first week with Golf Tech. And we did, lines and this position. That was the easy stuff, folks. Both of them spent more time with us to make sure we were not misled on this whole idea and understanding that there is a lot more to this than what people think. And it's important that we help to manage expectations, because the expectations coming through the door, unfortunately, are not realistic. And these players thinking they're going to take 2, 3, 4 lessons in a week or 2 or 3 and go out and magically perform on a significantly better scale is not correct, and it's unrealistic, unfortunately. So they also impressed upon us before we went out to our locations and started doing the job that we needed to make sure people understood before they bought in what this process is all about. And I do it every day, and I absolutely do it in the evaluation lesson. And if somebody's not going to buy in, I tell them specifically, don't do these things. You've got to commit to this process, and you've got to be patient and think about the realistic time frame, because without it, you're going up a creek you don't want to end up in. So managing your expectations is critical for the success of this process. And it's critical just for the game of golf in general. So be sure to sit down, think about where you're at, think about where you want to be, think about what's realistic, and if you're ready to commit to the process. Now, if you're ready to commit to a process, then it's easy. You can put all that aside. You ain't got to worry about it no more. And you can just sit back and do the work. And then over time, those small, short, incremental increases that occur each week, each month, will eventually build into this thing that all of a sudden you're looking back going, wow, look how far I've come. So that much I can promise you, folks. You put in the right amount of time, you will get the benefit, and you will get the results, and you will be able to go achieve all those golf dreams you may be seeking. Second thing popped up. Love it. Daly and Bryson talking about grip size in their little chit chats on the course there. And Daly stopped and said, the number one thing you can do is get you fit properly for your grip. I've been preaching grip size for 20 dang years. And by far and away, the one thing that's almost never done in the majority of fittings, some yes, but the majority no, is even looking at the grip size. They don't even mention it. And it blows me away. And then I see these fitters doing these fittings all day long because they got these tents and fancy clubs and all this shit. And they call themselves reps and all this garbage. And they're up there and they're just feeding people with tools. And I'm like, wait a minute, if you're swinging the club and it ain't even the right handle, how are you gonna the hands are coming off the club? And I mean, what are we doing here, folks? So you need to understand that hand size and how it matches the club is absolutely critical to performance. And everybody's got it wrong out there because I've got not large, if you took like the average man's hand and then you take like the big hand side of the equation, like the Bubba Watsons of the world, that man's got he's got a baseball bat on the end of his grip. It's a large grip and then 12 wraps underneath. It's huge. And when people first see that, they're like, that's not a golf club. I'm like, no, that is a golf club. And it fits his hand because he's got a hand that's 10x bigger than mine. I've got small hands on the scale, and I play one full size up from, the normal little tiny tinsel crap they put on them out of the damn manufacturers. So grip is, not only is how to hold the club is not only half the ball game and misunderstood. And I'm talking PGA professionals don't understand this stuff. Okay. But fitting it appropriately is critical. And I've literally stood in rooms with other teaching professionals and manufacturer fellas and all kinds and asked simple questions like, well, how do you measure that? And they don't have a slide club. It's mind-boggling. Yet we got this old dude Daly up there that can step up and easily tell you right out of the gates, if you ain't fit properly your grip, you're absolutely insane. What are you doing out there? So it's just another thing, folks. No BS. Grip is absolutely one of the most important things, and I talk about it in day one every single time almost, because when players start putting their hands on the club, now so you see there and you see that, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, grip too small. Can't put your hand on the club properly. I'm talking about little hands, and they're like, well, I never heard this before. I'm like, that's why I'm doing this. So anyhow, comments, questions, please throw them in the comment section down there. Go to Twitter, tweet at me, whatever, Facebook, you name it, at P45 KDG on the old Twitter machine, P45 Knuckle Down Golf at gmail.com. And yeah. Oh, and by the way, always please like, subscribe, and share. That'll do me a lot of good in the long run, and I appreciate that. And I'm gonna get back on here some more. But I'd rather answer the questions. So throw me some questions. You'd be sure I'll come on here and talk about it. For now, that's it for today. I'm going to head up to the golf pub, www.thegolfpub.com. Hope to see all y'all soon. Take care.